think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
He just need to be left unsaid. I understand he's articulating like his point of view, like, look, this is all natural work. We're just working hard at it. We're doing X, Y, Z.
I wonder, will people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough, that there might be an excuse for that. So.
Yes. StephenASmith talks about Canelo Alvarez looking much bigger before his fight with Terence Crawford, saying it raises doubts about how the size gap could shape the result. He admits Crawford is the sharper boxer, but warns if Crawford cannot land enough power to hurt Canelo, it may cause problems. Smith's words underline worries about the physical mismatch and how it could influence this huge showdown.
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. I just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer, but if he can't hurt Canelo, he can't keep him off of him. He says it's a legacy fight, and he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Unfortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a villain.
Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez's well-known trainer, has responded to old claims linking him to performance-enhancing drugs in boxing. Reynoso has been accused of giving or allowing fighters in his gym to use banned substances, but he strongly denied it. He explained that his boxers, including Canelo, handle their own diets and he does not control what they eat. This statement comes at an important time before the Crawford fight, as rumors often grow when a fighter's size or performance improves. Reynoso says his job is training, skill building, and mental focus, not supplements or food plans.
Eddie Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join Snack. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hydraulic chambers. Get Nello on Snack. Hey, brother, Nello on Snack with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt. Brother, please.
Though Eddie Reynoso has trained fighters, about 7 by some accounts, who failed drug tests in their careers, he insists that this does not connect to Canelo Alvarez. Reynoso stressed that every case is different and fighters are personally responsible for what they take. He stated that Canelo has always followed a clean program and takes great care with everything he eats or uses as a supplement.
Boxing corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled it proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso has since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah, 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 and he distanced himself. Now, why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who have all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town, now this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC, maybe used their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence, put it that way. Again, that's not true, I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
Terence Crawford's strength coach gave a bold prediction before the big fight against Canelo Alvarez. Speaking with full belief, he said Crawford would break Canelo down and that their team is ready. His words show the confidence in Crawford's camp that their fighters' power, fitness, and hard training will be enough to beat Canelo's size and experience. The coach stressed that their work is sharp and focused, covering both strength and stamina to match Canelo everywhere. His comments have added more fire to the build-up as fans argue if Crawford's power at a higher weight will be enough to trouble a champion like Canelo.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Some experts think the size of the ring could play a key role in the fight. A normal ring would let Crawford use his quickness, footwork, and smart movement to keep Canelo away. Past fights have shown Canelo struggles with rivals who move around and avoid standing in front of him, like in his loss to Dmitry Bivol. Opponents who force him to chase often break his rhythm and frustrate him. If the ring favors movement, Crawford could control the pace and pick his moments, but if Canelo closes the distance quickly, the fight might turn far more physical.
If the ring is standard size, I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he going to get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, he talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dog fight with Canelo. No, I think he going to whoop his ass off.
Veteran sports host Jim Gray shared his thoughts on the fight, calling it a great clash between two men with legendary careers. He praised Canelo Alvarez for shining across many weight classes and gave the same respect to Terence Crawford for ruling his own division. Gray's fair view shows the high regard both fighters have earned. He noted that this fight is not only about belts, but about legacy. Each man enters the ring aiming to secure his spot in boxing history.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, people clamor for big names and big fights and guys who are great to fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. Terence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, twice as many rounds? So I don't know how that combination ends up, the weight difference. Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and it's going to be filled up, and we're going to have a huge, huge night for boxing for the world to see.
On follow-up, do you feel like Terence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problems?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Famous trainer Abel Sanchez has voiced big doubts about Crawford's chances, pointing directly to the size gap between them. He explained that weight classes exist for good reason, reminding people that skill alone isn't enough when strength and size come into play. Sanchez believes Canelo's natural power at his weight is a huge hurdle for Crawford, who is stepping up to meet him. In his view, even with Crawford's ability, the physical disadvantages make the task very tough.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154-pounder, moved up one division, and had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. And you talk about a guy in Canelo whose really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin, just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo has dominated easily. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions,
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the final words. Any final words for the fans waiting to see you in the corner on Saturday night, my friend?
I'm very happy to be back. I retired for 3 years.
Iconic announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. shared his take, saying in fights like this, the naturally larger boxer usually wins. That would give Canelo Alvarez the advantage. Still, Lennon pointed out that Canelo has not looked as sharp in some recent bouts, which leaves a chance for Crawford. His balanced opinion suggests that while size is important, recent form and game plan could change the outcome.
For the super fight in September, how do you see that fight playing out? Who are you leaning towards? Who wins that fight?
Yeah, I tell you, I tend to always think the naturally bigger fighter is going to have an advantage. I'm just, with the Crawford moving up, he was a 135-pound champion. They had 40, fantastic champion. 47 then, and then 54. Is 68 too much? That's really a big jump. But I tell you, a lot of people I respect just say, no, he's going to be favored on that.
Wow.
So I don't know what to say, but Canelo's a great fighter and a smart fighter, and two fighters in the pound for pound best. Getting it on. That's nice for boxing.
And if Crawford is successful, where would you place him in the all-time greats? Does he belong in the top 10, or you've seen so many fighters come across?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say. But certainly he should be considered. He should be in that discussion, and people could argue that either way for a while. But if he does it, you always wonder. Will people say that no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough? That there might be an excuse for that. So, we'll see. But it'd be quite a feat if he does beat Canelo. That'd be amazing.
Shocker Stevenson, an unbeaten and highly talented champion, has voiced strong belief in Terence Crawford's skills. He called Crawford the best in his division and said his world-class ability is enough to beat even a bigger opponent like Canelo Alvarez. Stevenson's words carry weight because he is a respected fighter himself. His praise shows the respect Crawford holds among top-level boxers and strengthens the view. That size alone won't decide the fight. Many in boxing share this feeling, seeing Crawford as a serious danger despite the size gap, making this matchup one of the most exciting and awaited in today's sport.